Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. A little different. Something a little different tonight. Live here on YouTube. We are back from Ecto-Fest 2022. They're going out of their way to say the first annual Ecto-Fest. We're going to be doing this every year. Hi, everybody. Craig Goldberg with you. Jacob Walsh joining me as always. Jake, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm well. I don't know if I like this music though.
I like it. Welcome to the dance party.
It's making me go to sleep.
No, we're just trying to start off a little.
Yeah, this is kind of lounge elevator like genre. Why don't you move?
Elevator's a good way to describe.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna kill it. Abigail, how are you?
I'm good. I'm awake now. The music's off. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Hey, everyone.
So, you know, we just got back from Los Angeles a couple days ago. It was our second time on the West Coast in as many weeks. We were out for Star Wars Celebration. We came back. We slept for a couple days. And much like Jack in Lost and Kate in the show Lost, we had to go back. We had to go back. There's no way we're going to miss Ecto-Fest.
Yeah, we're not going to miss our Sideways universe.
We're not. We're
okay?
not. And we're going to be getting into the chat. We got a lot of people joining us already. I know we normally would do on Ghostbusters Day a live stream. Like last year, we did the trailer review with Troy Benjamin and Chris Stewart and Ryan Dole. And our plan was to do a live stream this year, but Jake, about a week before Ghostbusters Day, the news kind of broke. They were going to do this Ecto-Fest on the Sony lot.
Yeah.
Were you excited? I mean, what was your feeling going into? Because I don't want to call you out. You're usually a little bit more on the cynical side when it comes to Ghostbusters Day. You're usually like, they're not going to do anything.
Well,
it's not gonna be anything.
Well, it's just I didn't know what kind of things would be announced. You know, we kind of already had gotten the announcement of another film. So, but just the fact that it was like literally 2 weeks away, I was like, oh, well, there must be something planned. You know, they're not going to just do it for nothing. So.
Right. It seemed like a lot of work and a lot of effort. If it was just,
it was a surprise. It was a big surprise.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, similar feelings to when we went to New York City Comic Con with like, are we going to see a movie? Did we come out here and are we not going to see a movie?
We know with Ghostbusters, there's always it's a last minute thing.
Yeah, but there's always a chance for perfection.
Except for FanFest, where we had 2 years to prepare and. Well,
hey, I think this event made up for FanFest.
No, it was great. It was great. Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all the announcements. Before we get too far in, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to Yes Have Some Podcast or new to seeing us on YouTube, make sure you do hit that subscribe button or subscribe on whatever podcast application you use, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Because we clearly are not slowing down at all. You know, I was assuming that 2022 would be kind of a catch your breath year for Ghostbusters, but it's not. They are setting the groundwork for a lot of stuff, a lot of content, and we're going to break it all down. But I got to tell you what, guys, Mel Gibson apparently was on our flight on the way back.
This is
no. I don't think he was. I don't know where you heard that, but I think you just ran with something.
Correction.
I don't think he was on
there was a dude behind us who thought he saw Mel Gibson.
Oh,
it was not. It definitely was not.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
Also, what are the odds of a big time celebrity flying across the country? They'd probably be in a private plane, not one of those Delta jets that we take. I don't know. Well, anyways, Mel Gibson has nothing to do with Ghostbusters.
Thankfully, thankfully, moving on.
So yeah, we got the we got the invite we got the heads up that there was going to be something going down, some announcements, and it was going to be an evening event on the Sony lot. So we made sure to make the arrangements to be out there. And Jake, it wasn't a very big event. I mean, I feel like there was maybe less than 100 people there.
Yeah, I think so. It was very small. I know whenever the tickets kind of went out, I don't want to say for sale because it wasn't.
It was like a free thing. Right.
But they sold out pretty quickly. People, I saw people bummed out that they missed out on it. It was a very quick thing. Yeah, it was a very small event. I would say 100 people max.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that lent to the intimacy and overall enjoyment of the experience. It was kind of like a breaking ground on a new site, like a new building foundation that we're laying for the future of Ghostbusters. And I mean, it was a small crowd.
Literally,
I
think it was that day they renamed that street. It's kind of weird because you're in a.
It was earlier the day.
Yeah. There's the street or the location of the Ghost Corps office. They've renamed to Ivan Reitman Way. They put up a really nice plaque, and there's kind of a poignancy to that, and there's a sadness, but I don't know. It didn't really feel sad at all. It felt like a celebration of Ghostbusters, and the thing that struck me, and I'm going off the assumption that everybody that's watching this or listened to this saw some of the videos because they did live stream it on Instagram. But one of the packages they played was this really great video from Dan Aykroyd, which was kind of like almost this passing the torch. I'm going to introduce Jason and Gil, and I'm telling you, this is the future. We're handing the keys to these are the guys that are going to take Ghostbusters to this next generation and to grow the franchise into what, Ivan and Dan had envisioned it being ever since they founded Ghost Corps in 2014. And, just starting off, I feel so comfortable with that. I feel like this is the best possible scenario as a Ghostbusters fan. We're and this is crazy because Afterlife is out. We already have the first part of this. Afterlife is out. It's it's you can watch it on the plane, you can watch it on Stars, you can buy the DVD. And we did have we'll get to it, but we did have a brief chance to catch up with Jason Reitman, and we got to meet Gil Kenan, and it was really great. And they're just the most wonderful, down to earth, like sweetest people in the world. And one of the things that struck me in our conversation, and I wouldn't say this, it wasn't an on the record conversation, but I wouldn't. I feel comfortable saying this. Jason basically said, "Today is day one. FanFest wasn't day one. Afterlife wasn't day one. Like, this is the beginning. It's almost like Afterlife was like this bridge from the old to the new, and now we can really set the table for the future of Ghostbusters." So that's kind of a lot to throw out. Abby, do you have any?
Well, what it felt like to me was like being at the company picnic, and like Gil and Jason were like the very happy father-like CEOs of the company that kind of set it all up. And they watched us enjoy our time. We all got to watch the movie. It was very much a family, like on the lawn kind of feeling. Yeah. And I loved it. Yeah,
that struck me as well. It's a tight-knit group, this Ghostbusters community. It's not Star Wars. We know.
Can I say I'm glad it's not? I really like having our community the way it is. Like, I respect and love Star Wars. We were just at Celebration, but I love the quiet, like, understanding and obsession that all Ghostbusters fans kind of share. It's really cool.
Jake, any thoughts or musings on anything that I just laid out? I mean, how do you feel before we kind of get into the announcements and the breakdown of the event? Like, what is your feeling about Ghostbusters right now, like, looking forward?
Oh, well, it feels like it's I don't want to say finally, but it feels like it's in a good position. And throughout the last, I don't know, 20, 30, whoever, who's counting, but it's been a lot of weird, like, false starts, stops. This is going to happen. This is not going to happen. And then 2016 happened. And, whether you like that movie or not, it was just a weird time for the franchise in general. And no one knew if that universe was going to continue or what was going to happen. And then it's like all at once, almost accidentally, we all realized that Jason is the right is the right person to be.
You didn't
Just
want to say
say it.
Reitman.
Say
Say
it.
I don't
Reitman.
want to do it.
The Reitman.
I did it like 2 years
um,
ago and thought I was so cool for doing it.
I didn't mean to say it like that, but I loved Afterlife, and I've seen it many, many times, and every time I've seen it, even this time, I tear up every time I see it, and I just to hear Jason and Gil get up there, and like to hear Dan be like, Dan basically straight up just said like, hey, it's theirs now. Like, we're the old guys. This is not us anymore. This belongs to them, and they know what they're doing, and it's going to be fun and exciting, and I believe that.
Yeah, and I believe it too. And none of us really knew what to expect. I mean, we knew that they had talked about at CinemaCon there was going to be a new live action Ghostbusters movie. We all knew that they would be talking about it in some capacity, but the sheer amount of projects that they're lining up, I mean, it is ambitious, right? But we always kind of knew that Afterlife needed to happen first before you can start thinking about the animated series, an animated movie, the new comic books, virtual reality.
Yeah, it's ambitious, but it's all stuff that we've thought about and wanted, and I think that they've been setting in motion.
And the biggest thing to me is that you've got all of these projects that are being taken on by different people, but Jason and Gil are producing all of them. And they went out of their way when they talked to say that this is all going to be canon to the original universe. So I know the IDW comics had a lot of fans, and that had a long run, and Eric and Dan did a great job.
Yeah,
and
we've had them on the show.
Yeah, and also like there was a time where that's the only Ghostbusters content there was. But they are moving on from that, and they're going to have we could talk about this first. Dark Horse Comics is going to be taking over for Ghostbusters, and that's a top tier comic book company. And what's exciting about it, and this was kind of in one of the other articles, is this limited series that they're starting with is going to bridge the gap between Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife. And I really think a comic book is like the best way to do that in a meaningful way. Like, you could cover a lot of ground, you could tell different stories. I'm not the biggest comic book fan in the world. I'm not an avid reader of comics, but this is something, knowing that it's canon and part of the universe, that I will be invested in from day one, 100%.
I think it's so smart to do it as a comic book rather than a full feature-length movie, because we've seen with Star Wars going back into time gaps and trying to fill them with Solo, and also with
It can be tough.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. It's tough. So maybe working out the kinks inside of a comic book universe and that confines is better.
Right. Well, let's I want to mention a few things. We did spend the weekend, or the middle of the week, with our good friends AJ Quick and John Yerkeba. And I just got to give a shout out to our YHS folks that joined us and hung out. Jim and JD and Lawrence and the various other people we got to meet and hang out with. It was just a great time. I love our community. I love our our listeners and our Patreon supporters, and you guys are the best. And hanging out with you is awesome. And we're excited that you were there, and it means the world to us. And
three's a crowd.
What?
We had about 3 people. It was pretty great.
No, we had more than that.
We had more than that.
I think 25, 30 people.
Okay, but it was nice. It was a nice little crowd.
And also, of course, Troy Benjamin.
Oh, yeah, Troy.
And Kelly, you guys are the best. And we really, we love what we do, and we love that we get to go and cover these types of events. Jake, it never gets old going to the Sony lot. We've been fortunate enough to do it a couple times, but there's an excitement when you're walking on.
Yeah,
you kind of feel like, am I supposed to be here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned that before. It always feels like you're not supposed to be there, and we've been there, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. So it's always like, oh yeah, I know my way around. The theaters around here, the cars
I still
are going to be
don't know
over
my way
here.
around.
Jeopardy's over here to the right. Yeah, dude, it's always fun being on the lot. It feels special.
It does feel special. And they had a really good setup. Obviously they had the original Ecto, the Afterlife Ecto, the Answer the Call Ecto, and then in front of Ghost Corps they had this huge setup of all of these props from all the movies.
Yeah,
really great stuff. I mean, you had the Egon's farmhouse, you know, the miniature. You had the original slime blower, proton packs, the orange thing. No one knows what that's called.
The
but
orange thing. There was an afterlife pack. Lewis Tully's
the colander
thing. Lewis Tully was spelled wrong.
Classic.
At least it wasn't
Classic thing. Yeah, there was just a lot of cool stuff. They had some of the afterlife, stuff out, and the Answer the Call stuff. It was cool.
It was great. And we put up a little sizzle reel. You can check it out on our YouTube page. You can see some of the sights and sounds. I loved getting up close with the new Ecto. I love that thing so much.
Yeah.
It is so awesome.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a low key event. Like, they gave us little certificates for concessions, some free popcorn and free soda. And it was pretty loose. Like you could kind of walk around. In fact, one of our listeners and one of our friends from group therapy, he put up a video. They had an event that happened before this event, and it was a Sony event. And Jason was out there, and Gil and Ernie Hudson, and it was kind of like a little happy hour type of thing. And he had video from that event, and he was in Ghost Corps, and he was like meeting people. And I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, did you have like a general press pass? How did you get into this early thing?" And he was like, "No, I just got to the lot at 3:30, and they just let me in." So
Ghost.
So he's got footage of they had this Sony Pictures like inclusion and diversity event. And Jason's there and Gil's there, and he's just taking video, and he's in Ghost Corps. And like, I was like, we should have got there at 3.
So next time, get there very early.
Oh, we should have known that. Yeah. Oh well.
We
had fun. We went to lots of toy stores.
We did, but we were while he was hanging out at Ghost Corps, we were in Joe Biden traffic.
True. Oh, the president was affecting our schedule. The
president was in town. Now, I thought Joe Biden was in for Ecto-Fest. I thought they were going to have some crazy announcement. I thought, the administration was getting into the Ghostbusters industry, but not. Yes, H.A. Quick. Instead, we were stuck in traffic. See? But we got there. We got to hang out, talk to people, see people, and the event kind of got started. So one thing, they started off the event with, I kind of wanted to watch this along with everybody. I thought it was really cool. Let me get this up. Ernie Hudson, when we had our conversation, Jake, with Jason, it's in the archive, by the way, if anybody wants to go listen to our interview with Jason Reitman. When we had that conversation with him, this was before the movie came out, but they were adamant, or he was adamant at the time. He was saying Ernie Hudson is a big piece of the future of this franchise, and Winston is a big piece of the future of the franchise, and we see it with the after credits scene. It's kind of awesome after all these years that Ernie's like, he's like the guy.
He's kicking it off. He was the first speaker.
And I wasn't expecting him to be there at all. Like, I was like, oh shit, Ernie's here. This is all, and it never gets old.
Yeah.
It's
always like a really nice treat.
It's a nice treat.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch this video with everybody. They started off with kind of this little sizzle that was the filming of the post-credits scene. And I wanted to, maybe we could watch it and all experience this together one more time. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
let's do it. Okay. I want to make sure you guys can hear it. Can everybody see and hear this? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if the chat can't hear it, let us know. But let's go ahead and watch this. So this is August of 2021. Here we go.
We're back at the original firehouse in Los Angeles where they shot the interior for the 1984 film and the sequel.
Ernie, when you walk in, if you can come a little more straightforward.
The first time I came on the set with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold, we had filmed part of the time in New York, and then we had come to Los Angeles And where the New York set was kind of confining, this was like the ultimate set. And when I walk in here now, I remember that wave of coming in here and knowing that I was a part of something that that would be special. And now, 30 plus years later, the feeling is just as strong.
The crazy thing is, I remember being 12 years old on Ghostbusters 2, sitting on those stairs over there.
What Ghostbusters does better than any movie is it brings us together as families.
All right, so there it is, and of course that's the post-credit stinger. I was really glad that they shared this because like I wanted to. This is the stuff, you know, if you remember, this was well after production was over. This is like year 2 of COVID.
Yeah.
Pictures
We all
start-
thought it was a commercial
Yeah.
being filmed.
they're at the
Walmart
firehouse.
commercial.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
Walmart
like, guys,
commercial.
don't be stupid.
It's the
not.
VMAs. I was the first one. I'm sure you could go back to Jake just being like, "It's not a post-credit scene. Quit being an idiot."
Yeah.
God,
I said that exact sentence, I'm sure.
yeah.
Jake, what did you think of this little rundown here?
I thought it was really cool. I like seeing any new behind the scenes stuff. And I think that's a great, easy way for them to kind of make Ghostbusters Day special, you know, showing us, you know, that was filmed, you know, a little while back. And it's just cool to see that. It's cool to see inside the firehouse other than just what we see in the movie, especially. I guess it's good for them that the firehouse is like already kind of abandoned and it's like they didn't have to do anything. That's just how it actually looks.
Wait, are we
now.
gonna remember they were going to convert it to a children's museum? We're going to find out that Sony has been like funding, like reverse funding somehow. Like they're making sure to keep the firehouse in a dilapidated state.
Oh, okay.
So they can have
That's
these
one
filming
theory.
opportunities. And like this was all leading up to, we can kind of start with the big announcement.
Mm-hmm.
They
I just wanted to say that package is really heartfelt. It was really nice to see Jason Reitman directing Ernie Hudson, and also just like it's also honest and real. It's not like a bunch of like manipulated, fabricated. These are like, we're trying to get you to get interested in this genre or in this franchise. It's like this is just really like what's happening.
Right.
Like
and it's so specific, right? And like it's just that stinger was so meaningful and so powerful, and it really showcased you know, Annie Potts and Ernie Hudson in a way that we haven't seen in the Ghostbusters franchise before. And this all led to them officially announcing, hey, the script is being written for the sequel to Afterlife. It is going to start back in New York at the firehouse. And guess what? The original Afterlife, the code name was Rust City. They put out this graphic for code name Firehouse. And we are officially on our way to a sequel to Afterlife. And apparently Jason and Gil found this artist on Etsy who'd done this sketch and loved it and licensed it. And
Stole it. Oh,
and
no, they
stole it. No.
No.
And you can
They
even
did
buy
it the right way.
There's a limited pressing of 100 of these prints that you can buy. I did end up picking one up because it is the official, you know, first piece of merchandise for the new Ghostbusters movie. And if you guys listen to YHS, you know we like our merchandise. So
Cool for that artist.
yeah, it's amazing. And so that was the big, you know, that's where we are. They're still writing it. One thing of note, by the way, we're gonna get to the chat here in a little bit. We'll take some questions, do some Q&A.
We see you.
We see you. We're glad you're here. Thank you guys for joining us. In the post that Jason Reitman made on Instagram, he tagged the following people in the post for Firehouse. He tagged Finn Wolfhard, Celeste O'Connor, Logan Kim, McKenna Grace, Carrie Coon, Annie Potts, and Ernie Hudson, and of course Gil Kenan. So I think it's safe to say that a lot of the cast is going to be back in action. I'm just excited. I mean, Jake, what do you think? Let me in your brain. I want to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's something we've all thought about and hoped for, and you know, kind of dreamed about. And I'm interested to see where the story's going to go. And you know, I know he's saying it's going to they said it's going to start where it all began back in New York. But we've had the conversation before, like, how do they move? How does it make sense for Phoebe and these characters to get into New York, or are we going to see, two separate? I don't care, but it's just stuff that I think about. It's like I'm constantly thinking like, oh, well, they could do this, they could do this. Like, I'm just excited that it's all continuing.
Right.
Same.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to catch up and like see, because the event that happens at the end of Afterlife, like, I don't think the whole world knows about that. Like, it's not on a global scale, or it's not
right.
Like they have anonymity. Nobody knows that happens. So I'm curious to see what happens when they go to another city. How the things start shaking up again, like what kind of connective tissue there is.
Well, it's a seismic map.
Is it?
That's how
Oh,
it
thank
shakes
you. God, what does Phoebe say? Damn it. Yeah, there's a good
Are you
line.
being obtuse?
Yeah.
Something about that. Is that geometry?
I don't do quotes.
But I think like what excites me, Jake, is the same as you and the same as Abby. Like the thought of like, I think they're going to start in New York and move to another area. I don't think it's going to be back to Oklahoma. We've discussed before how you can easily kind of get the kids to New York, but by the time this movie comes out, it's going to be 4 or 5 years after the events of Afterlife, and
right.
I wonder if we're going to join an active Ghostbusters team. Like, we're just going to be introduced to some like.
Well, he just starts and Ghostbusters is happening.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is happening, and you got Ben Stiller, Will Smith, Chris Farley.
Not going to be Will Smith.
The whole thing.
Seth Rogen.
Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Eliza Dushku.
You already said
and
Channing Tatum?
Charlie Day. Okay. Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt. It's going to be everybody.
Surprise.
That was the big announcement, and like they're keeping it close to the vest. I was kind of running the math, figuring out when we could possibly expect this movie. My educated guess is that they're going to film next summer, and they'll do Ecto-Fest again next year, and it'll be kind of like Fan Fest. It'll be like a kickoff. We're about to start filming, and I bet we're going to see a release in June 2024. Which will be the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I think, and that was the big announcement, but that was not the only announcement. Before we go any further, I do want to get to the chat a little bit, and we got to give a shout out to our guy Ben Eady, Ghostbusters prop technician who worked on Afterlife. Jake, the video's up. Somehow Jacob Walsh has found himself in the position of ownership of the screen-used RTV trap for at least 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes. It was in my hands. Now, I think he had to go do something, had to go grab something, and he was like, "Hey, you guys going to be here for a minute? Can somebody hold this while I run?" And I immediately was like, "Give it to me. I'll hold it." So
I was holding the remote.
Yeah, I got to hold it and inspect it and cradle it and say loving, nurturing things to it. And
face off.
It was great. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You're not sleeping with it, are you, Jake?
Stop.
So stupid. Yeah, Ben's a great guy. It was great to catch up with him and meet him in person. And anytime at these events, you have limited time. You're getting pulled in different directions. And,
right.
But he's super good guy.
He's a fun person to see.
And you can watch his videos on the official Ghostbusters YouTube account, where the RTV trap was destroyed during filming, and he rebuilt it. Yep. And he did a damn good job, because that thing was moving and shaking. That was really cool.
It was a good. I thought it was in. I could not tell. You couldn't tell that it was once in pieces. It was very good. Yeah,
it was very good. So we can run through some of these other announcements, but something funny happened. I want to kind of bring you guys into the event. So we're sitting down, we're getting ready, and all of a sudden, who is with us? Logan Kim's mom. Mm-hmm. She's the nicest person in the world. She came and said hi. We got to meet her and Logan's dad at the premiere, so it was good to catch up with her. And the funny thing, though, when the movie started, though, this let's just tell the story, because it's just too funny. So after the event,
we were there.
I want to bring you guys in.
Let's brag a little bit.
It's not a brag. It's like it's a unique experience. So this is so funny. The movie starts. They did all the announcements, and we see Eric Wright from Ghost Corps. walking behind the screen, and we hadn't seen him the whole time we were there.
No, but I will say I saw him. He was very busy, like in the very beginning.
Yeah,
I
he
was
was-
like, I am not going to make eye contact with Eric. Let him work.
Let him do his thing.
Mhm.
But we saw Eric kind of coming towards us, and I was like, oh, I wonder what Eric's doing. And then I noticed he was walking towards our row, and like, I was like, oh, he's coming to say hi to us. I was like, that's really nice. So he leans over and he's like, hey, Logan's mom said you guys have something for Logan. And I was like, what? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like,
I literally forgot.
and he was like, well, maybe they just want to say hi. And I was like, hey, listen, I said, Eric, we don't have anything for Logan. Like, I have nothing to give
I was
him.
like, are we gonna
We
have
can
to
give him-
build-
We can give him advice or something.
Absolutely.
That's what he
Yeah,
needs. Does he need career advice or
Yeah.
just like
Right.
Yeah, cheer up any of that. But yeah,
Boy
I was like, we're
Brian.
gonna have to fashion something to give him now between now and when we get to that stage.
Remove the chair.
Yeah.
By the way, Jake, thanks for pointing out where the shoe line was at FanFest.
You're
Jake's,
welcome, yeah.
Jake's like the Sony tour guide. It was
That
awesome.
was
yeah,
awesome.
the
Yes.
shoe line.
Favorite.
So we went back and we met up again with Logan's mom, Brandy, and I was like, hey, we don't have anything for Logan. And she was like, I know. And I was like, okay. And then we
Did
just
you just call for us? What?
Yeah, what are we
She
doing
just
here?
was like,
What am I
let's
supposed
hang
to do?
out.
What do you need from me?
what do you need from me? But
Just wanted to hang out.
it was nice
Yeah, she's
because
super cool.
Logan was there. We got to catch up with him a little bit, and he's an awesome dude. And I was like, "Hey, Logan, how are you, man? How are things in Texas?" And he immediately talked to me for 10 minutes about how his brother's in college now.
Yes.
So there you go. There you
Such
go.
a good brother,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. He's
So I'm
just
like, yeah, he's in college, but you're on the Sony lot.
yeah. You're
You're
in
the one- you're hosting
Ghostbusters,
stuff.
and that's better than college.
Good for both of them.
And Jason was over there, and we got to meet Gil and said hi and did our thing and went back and watched the movie. It was really cool though. Yeah, I don't know. We are working on something for Logan, a little surprise,
we
and
can't talk about
we
it.
can't talk about it though. But I was just making it's not ready yet.
Exactly.
I just wanted to make sure that she didn't think it was happening then. I can go get something off the table.
Just
Yeah.
grab
Logan,
something.
Look, I got you a Louis
We-
Tully's colander.
We gave you a YHS interaction.
Yes. We gave him no, the funny thing is Logan was like oh, what have you guys been up to? And Abby was like, oh, we were out, we did some toy shopping, and he's so funny, he goes, oh, did you go to the Sony store? Wait, are you guys even allowed in there?
I was like, no, we didn't. I wish.
First of all, yes, it's like a tour, of course that
Yeah.
we're allowed in there. We can get in the
Yeah,
Sony store
but
anytime
it
we
was
want.
also fun.
Logan Kim podcast on the movie Ghostbusters.
I've been in that Sony store. It's not good.
There's no toys.
There's nothing good.
There wasn't any kaiju.
No.
We haven't even talked about the raffle. There was a Ghostbusters raffle.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was
I guess we didn't win.
I think it was an inside
I
job
don't think.
because I saw some like security guards walking off with
Hey, I understand. I've
with
run
the-
raffles before.
with the Matty Collector 2-packs, the 12-inch ones.
Good for them.
So-
Literally.
So,
It's the spirit of Ghostbusters.
yeah, so it was cool, and it's always nice to catch up with folks and say hi. So, but yeah, getting back to the event, let's run down some of these other announcements. It was announced in the morning on Variety before the event that we are officially getting a Ghostbusters animated series that is going to be
Mhm.
on Netflix. Gil and Jason are executive producing, but there's no other information. But they did, Jake, what was it during the event? During the announcements, they kind of went out of their way to say it's all going to be canon, but we're going to be exploring different parts of the Ghostbusters
Yeah,
universe.
they made sure to kind of it kind of goes hand in hand with the other announcement about the animated movie that's taking place.
Right.
They did say both will be canon, both will be all new characters, both will possibly be taking place in a different time
Mhm.
/ decade / place than we're used to. So I think it's safe to think that the show and the animated movie will both be far away from the time period that the films take place in. And I imagine that's to keep it easier to deal with when it's all canon. It streamlines it and it makes things where, like, you know, like in Star Wars, where now you're like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense because in the movie they made 40 years ago they say this, but now
Leia
they're
doesn't
saying
remember
this.
her mom. Yeah.
So when you do that kind of thing, it makes it easier to get around having to, you know, you don't make a mess out of it. So
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm sure Ashley Eckstein's going to be bummed when she's not involved. doesn't get cast in the live action version.
I'm just glad there's foresight with the whole thing.
Well, let's roundtable this a little bit. Abby, what would you want to see out of an animated series? Like, what kind of style of animation? What kind of story?
Like shit tons of ghosts, with all sorts of different like personalities. Like I go in Gremlin style, like following, like, because I like collecting things. I like cute little things, kind of like, you know, little monsters, kaiju, cute things. So if there was a show about ghosts from that are being busted, or their things from their perspective, which I know has been tossed around as idea, I think that would be really interesting. It would also open up a lot of cool toy line stuff, like mystery minis and like.
Well, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah,
all these properties
toys.
will get toys,
Exactly,
which is very exciting.
That's something I love. The ghosts, I love like funny off the wall, weird like Adult Swim type stuff. So I'm kind of hoping something like that comes out of it.
Yeah, we should say that the movie is being written by Brenda Hasway, I think I'm saying that right, and being directed by Chris Pranosky and Jennifer Kluska, very experienced, you know, animators and directors, great resumes. And I'll tell you what, Sony Animation's got a great, you know, a great track record. They've had a lot of really successful stuff. Jake, what are you looking to see out of an animated movie specifically?
Dude, just new stuff and fun stuff and silly stuff. And like, I think with animation, like, clearly you can get really weird with it, and there can be all kinds of, like, there's the equipment's going to be different, the ghosts are going to be different. It's just all going to be new. That's the word. It's all going to be new, and that's what I want. And I'm looking forward to buying the toys and just all of the promo stuff and just all of the merchandise that usually comes with animated features and shows.
I mean, if it's anything,
it could be a lot. You know, there's a lot.
I mean, I was at the store today. What Disney's doing for this Buzz Lightyear movie, this is the biggest merchandise rollout I think I've ever seen for a toy, like, or for a movie. Like, there's so much toys. I think there's so much ground you could cover in animation, whether it's for the series or for the movie. There's different timelines, there's different time periods. You know, you could explore alternate universes. There's a million things you could do, and I'm just excited it's going to be canon. And I'll be honest, I know some people were hoping for some sort of like reboot or bringing back the real Ghostbusters, and as much as I love the real Ghostbusters, I'm not 100% sure that makes a lot of sense. Like, I feel like the real Ghostbusters
that ran its course.
It
had its time. It's great, and we all love it. But it's like, it's done. We already did that. Like, why spend the money and waste the time on just something we already got that
right? And if you have a cartoon exploring past and present, there's no reason why it can't go right back into like 1984. Or 89 or whatever, like 2016, like anything could happen is what I'm thinking. That was my little moment.
Right. Yeah. But I think like my whole thing is like, I just want new, and I want it to be it's one, you know, fluid story. And right now the canon is Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay. The comics, Ghostbusters, the video game, Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, those all exist in their own you know, lanes, and they're all wonderful in their own ways. But it's important, and I've always felt that this would be important for the future of the franchise, to establish a recognized canon, because that way you can have ground rules of what happened and what didn't happen. And clearly there's this whole period of time between Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters Afterlife that can be explored, whether that's in comics or video games or whatever. And I want to see that explored. I want to know more about the event. I want to know more about the events between Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. You know, like I think, and I want to know more about some of the characters that we were introduced to in Ghostbusters 2 and what happened to them. So, and obviously with Afterlife, I think everything's on the table as a possibility. But I get excited because, like I said, Sony Animation between Spider-Verse and Hotel Transylvania and Cloudy with the Chance of Meat, all the stuff Sony's done has been really successful and really good.
I know.
People in the chat are worried about the animation style because there is that a lot of the newer properties have had like the really stylized.
It was announced it's Netflix, correct? Like,
yeah,
we're
it was
saying that. Okay, gotcha.
But I don't know. We'll see, right? Like, there's no way of knowing what route they're going to go. But I feel like Jason and Gil are both they're pretty grounded dudes. Like, I feel like these are going to be they know that they have to appeal to a certain fan base,
Gil's
right?
got like major animation chops and knows how to do that.
I mean, yeah, of course. Look at Monster House.
Yeah.
Let Gil do it.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
Let him do it.
Let him do it.
I want to watch.
Let Gil buy a toy.
Let him buy something.
Exactly. All right. There was other announcements. Hasbro was there with updates on the Proton Pack, the HasLab, and then this was like this is classic me. They announced this Ivan Reitman limited edition Plasma Series figure. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be limited to like 1,000, and maybe everybody here tonight gets one, and I'm gonna try to get 2. I'm trying to maybe sell one on eBay.
You're doing it like Ecto Cooler.
But no, it's limited to 2.
It's 2 and 1 already exists.
One was given to who? Jason?
You're not getting one. That's it.
What was given to? Remember, Ivan and Jason both got one at Toy Fair,
right?
16 years ago,
and then before the pandemic, and then there's a second one that's going to be auctioned off. I was bummed, but I get it. Like, it's whatever. It is what it is. I
guess they don't like money, but you know.
Well, we don't like missing out.
We don't like missing out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Now somebody had a comment about Hasbro earlier, and I wanted to get to it because I think it was some interesting stuff. Let me go to it real quick. So somebody said, Zamfotis said, can you talk about the lack of Hasbro representation with Plasma Series? I just want ghosts. I would love real Ghostbusters made forward a realistic way like Star Wars does with animated figures. Yeah, I mean, being real, I think we all would love more from Plasma Series. I mean, we did get a good amount in those first couple of years. I think the spokesperson from Hasbro went out of her way to say, hey, we've got a lot more coming.
Right. She made it clear. I feel like her announcement, it was, what she showed wasn't super exciting to me because it was just like, hey, here's pictures of the Proton Pack. And I'm like, oh, I know what a Proton Pack looks like. Thank you. But the exciting part was the end where she was like, hey, listen, Hasbro's not done with Ghostbusters. There's more stuff coming, and I think that's what's exciting is knowing, because I thought we were done. I thought Ghostbusters toys were 100% done, at least until new media was coming out. But it sounds like they have stuff in the works.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the prospects of new movies and new animated shows and everything else, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I think we all want ghosts in Plasma Series. We all want, Slimer and Muncher and the Scolari brothers and so on and so on. But they're it's hard for them to do that stuff, especially in a non-movie year. Ghostbusters is a property. I would say it's similar to something like Indiana Jones, right? Like when Indiana Jones, when that movie comes out, you're going to see an onslaught of Indiana Jones merchandise and toys. But once that movie cycle's over, it goes away because like there's certain properties like the Jurassic property, because it's dinosaurs, they can roll out toys all year, every year, and they're always going to sell, right? And it's a very popular franchise. There's certain franchises, something like Star Trek, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, and others where huge franchises, but the way that they're marketed is just a little bit different. But I think I have a good feeling about the future of Hasbro. I really do. I think there's, there was a ton of toys. I don't want to be greedy. there was a lot of toys that came out for Ghostbusters last year,
Yeah.
and there's still a lot of them are still on the shelves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I mean, there's some stuff that I haven't even
Got in your
I
hands.
haven't even picked it all up yet.
Yeah.
You know?
I was gonna say that.
Hey, we got a nice super chat from our friend Jim. That was very nice. He says,
thanks, Jim.
"The bots will bid and win all Ivan Reitman figures."
Jesus Christ, that's the war against the machines.
I will buy all director plasma series. I just picked up Todd Phillips and also Steven Soderbergh and also yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fact that there's a limited edition toy, Ghostbusters toy that is going to probably sell for thousands of dollars, and like that as a collector and someone with like Holy Grail type stuff, that's still exciting and fun. But
Yeah,
I think we'd all like the opportunity to pick up an Ivan figure. I know I would. But I wish he wasn't wearing a flight suit. I wish he had like the classic Ivan like sweater around his neck,
Tennis
just
shoes, the khakis.
eating a little sandwich.
That'd be
God,
nice.
I miss Ivan.
Me
I really do.
I want class 10 breakfast, Ivan Reitman.
Yes. Yes.
The Ghostbusters nerd, another super chat. Thank you. Is Hasbro going to re-release a Kenner Firehouse? I think anything's possible. I didn't think they would do the Ecto, and that they did that. And then we have the Randalorian with the YHS Ivan Fund. Thank you. I think we're up to $20.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're going to be
Let's
early
raise
contenders
awareness.
for the auction.
Okay.
We got it.
Troy Benjamin says if it's charity, it's tax deductible. There you go.
Wow. We're
Oh man, YHS expense.
YHS. We're good people.
We have a
Right?
what if we had a shared custody of the Ivan Reitman plasma series?
Yeah, every other month.
Yeah, yeah.
Our own Unicron unity.
If somebody wanted to make, not that I want anyone to do this, but somebody could 3D sculpt an Ivan head and we could just pop it on a plasma series figure and basically have the same thing.
True.
But
We want it the right way.
we do want it the right way. One thing I wanted to talk about before we get too far towards the end here is Jason talked about this moment that him and Gil shared with Ivan, where they went to Ivan's house and shared with him the future of Ghostbusters and how excited Ivan was about it. Not trying to make you cry, Jake, but
Yeah.
just react to that. Like, laying it out for Ivan. And
I mean, hearing them talk about how they were able to sit down with Ivan and tell him all of these ideas and these stories, Jason and Gil made it seem like they have 20 ideas for what to do with Ghostbusters. And we haven't heard any of what those ideas are yet, but we know that there are 3 different ones in the works. But they talked like they sat around a fire and feasted and just told Ivan, all of their ideas for what to do with Ghostbusters. And they were able to do that before, he passed away, and that he was into it. He was excited about it, and he was like, yeah, please do this. So that just feels good. It's like it's passing, the stories down from father to son, and now the son is telling the new stories to it's just like
important moment.
Yeah,
closure.
It's important. It's touching. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw some of their ideas on a whiteboard.
We got to
Those
talk
are
about
good.
So
Those are some good ideas.
Wow, way to just
I wanna-
ruin that tender moment.
You know what, Jake? It was my plan. I thought I'd lighten the moment, but
Thank
also
you.
thank you for sharing that.
So as a fun Ghostbusters Day prank, Jason and Gil wrote out a 3-act fake plot points for Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 and put it in position of, I mean, this was like,
There was a part of me that when I first saw it was like, oh, this is good. This is good. This is real.
the pictures are floating around online in some of the Facebook groups, but there was some really funny stuff in there. Some of my favorite was Phoebe and podcast learning to play craps. There was a battle with Chris Columbus, the director, the director of Home Alone.
Ghostbusters pilot, the Flying Dutchman.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Trevor Venkman loses his hand. There's this whole Luke Skywalker subplot.
engagement
Terror
ring on it?
Terror Dog Island.
Yeah.
Terror Dog. By the way,
That needs to be a theme park.
am I a dumb person or a fan? By the way, we're getting killed and the bots are out in the chat tonight, but we're blocking them.
Ooh.
So that's not our site, by the way.
No, get a towel.
because they referenced Venkman and the fake plot that they put up on the board, in my mind, I'm like, oh, Bill's back. Even though this is fake, Bill is back.
Bill's
We're back.
Yeah.
He's not. I'm not back.
Bill's not
Wait,
back.
Where's that from? You're back. I'm not back.
That's from Twister. Bill Paxton.
Oh yeah.
Prodigal son is returned. Not back.
Yep, Twister.
Now, I will say this, though. According to their fake plot, there's a hair gel fire that happens and burns down Ray's Occult books. So be careful.
I believe it. I believe that he would have excess hair gel, like just tons
Dan?
of it. Yeah.
I love that clearly Gil and Jason put in hours of like work coming up with this, and the joke the joke almost didn't work because only I think one person noticed it.
They made each
nobody
other
saw
laugh.
it.
I think.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see. I was too distracted looking at all the props.
Yeah.
And not what you know what I was distracted. I didn't want to look inside Ghost Core and make eye contact with anybody. I
You
don't
were
want to.
looking at Gozer's feet.
Yeah, I was looking at Olivia Wilde's feet.
Feet. I know. I screamed at you. I go, Craig, got Gozer's feet.
Get Craig away from the feet, guys.
God damn it. God damn it. Anyways, so they had some other announcements. There's some virtual reality stuff going on. They've got this Ghostbusters VR Academy, which is kind of like a standalone VR thing. I don't understand it, but I do understand it. I do know that the play now, Jake, I looked it up. They're gonna have there's 400 locations that
400.
already, and there's 3 in Atlanta that have
Like a Dave and Buster's type.
it's Andretti's, the race.
Andretti's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I really hope this stuff gets off the ground because like anytime I've done VR, like when we've done the Void, like the Star Wars and the Ghostbusters, the
Yeah.
Void, that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they
Like, it's
said
really cool.
so. They said there's the at-home version, but then the one that is going to be at the locations, they showed mock-ups of what it's going to look like, and it's 2-tiered. And when you're on the bottom tier, you're a Ghostbuster. You're going to have your proton packs on, shooting ghosts, whatever. Then you move on to the second, where you're going to be driving this like weird futuristic version of the Ecto-1 that has wings and stuff. Like it's all pretty crazy looking. It looks very ambitious to me to be like, hey, we're going to have 400 locations where you can just go and be a Ghostbuster. Like when I saw that, I was like, this is never happening.
That has to be
seems
based on something
amazing.
they've done. Yeah. that
But
has
I
to be
really-
statistics.
I am really looking forward to doing that stuff if and when it's widely available for everybody. Because like you just said, the Void is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's sort of that, just I guess newer versions of that.
And also I kind of thought, remember when COVID happened and like they got rid of the Void? I was like, oh, VR's done. It's back.
Nothing's done.
Everything's back.
Everything's back.
Literally.
Everything's
Buffets.
back. Buffets are back.
Sweet tomatoes coming back.
It's all back.
We need Sweet Tomatoes
We
back.
really do.
Yeah,
I would
we
really
need
like to be sponsored by Sweet Tomatoes.
we need the son of the person who created Sweet Tomatoes to bring it back and make a new Sweet Tomatoes.
Sweet Tomatoes.
We just got
Hold
Can
on.
we go to the Sweet Tomatoes?
Are you talking about
really
Ecto-Fest?
sappy about Sweet
Hold on, hold
Tomatoes?
on. Are you talking about
Please?
Sweet Tomatoes Afterlife?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what
we
you're
need
saying?
Sweet Tomatoes after. Exactly.
God.
Oh,
You go and you get the tomatoes. You're going through the shirts and it just says, okay, all right.
I want to let everybody know about Yes Have Some podcast on Patreon. Sign up today at patreon.com/yeshavesome for as little as $5 a month. You get complete access to all of our bonus audio content, weekly bonus extreme toy anxiety live streams, the Discord server, the YHS exclusive Patreon Instagram. It's a lot. And our patrons love it. They get a lot out of it. We have a lot of fun doing it. And to be honest, I mean, we're not slowing down. Like this is year 6 of YHS. We got all this stuff to look forward to. It's going to be year 10 before you know it. So we really appreciate everybody's
boy.
support.
And we're all dead.
And then we'll all be dead. Honestly, $5 a month, you have no idea how much that allows us to do the things that we do. It really does. Allows us to produce the podcast and put out as much content as possible. So if you're interested, you can support us over there at patreon.com/yeshavesome. And running deal, Anybody who signs up does get a personal phone call from YHS.
Yeah.
Jake, we made a couple calls this weekend.
Yeah, I was a part of a call or two, and you made me do that. No, it was
Forced
fun.
Jake to call
It
Good
was
people.
fun. We
exercise.
were at the hotel, just hanging out, and we did some Patreon call. It was literally fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you sign up for Patreon, in the $5 tier up, you can get a call from us. Just DM us on Patreon once you sign up and let us know your phone number. And in the next couple weeks, we will call you. And if you sign up to the $10 tier, Abby will call you.
Is that official?
No.
Should
Hey, I
we make
want
it
to
the
say
more expensive tier.
I want to point out something in the chat. Troy Benjamin, he's having a conversation with Flash, but he says the directors of the animated feature had Ecto Cooler juice boxes that they brought / made. What's funny about that is us being the kind of fans we saw them with those juice boxes. And then I remember looking at a photograph of them afterwards in front of the Ecto, and I'm like zooming in to examine the Ecto Cooler boxes because I'm like,
Yeah.
I said this to you, Craig. I was like, oh, these are custom made. These are custom because they're juice boxes. They got Slimer on them. They didn't do Slimer on juice boxes. They haven't done that in a long time. I was
like
sitting
prop
here having
department
this.
stuff.
Yeah, I was like, they made these. These are fake.
Yeah. Like the way the paper lined up and everything looks like it was
That's
probably
what you
printed,
get.
cut, folded.
Yeah.
That's what you get with YHS.
That's awesome.
Analysis of fake Ecto Cooler boxes.
Mhm.
We're gonna bring you the hard hitting action.
Yeah.
We're like the news. I just spit all over the place. Jesus Christ.
No, we're not.
We're not like this. One thing I wanted to
No,
let's
we're not
see.
like the Ghostbusters news.
No, we're not.
We're a different thing.
Yes, I have some.
But we were at Ecto-Fest.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually there.
I
We
was
were,
there. It was
unlike
awesome.
some people, we were at an Ecto-Fest. It was great.
Inside joke. No
I
worries.
just felt
Can I
so
just
present
talk, bro?
while I was
No,
there.
Um,
It was
stop
awesome.
it. I want to show you guys something. This is important.
Show me. What do we got?
The Dark Horse logo that they put
Oh,
up.
yeah. The comic book Ghostbusters. That's a cool logo.
That's
I
fucking tight.
love this so much. So this is the little image they put up when they announced the comic book, but this is like for our audio listeners, it's like a cell shaded comic pop art style Ghostbusters
Mhm.
logo, but it's got like the yellow border. I thought it
I
was
love
really
it.
cool.
Oh,
I liked it a
yeah.
lot.
Mhm.
There's something about it that just stands out. It's very cool.
Mhm.
So
It's new. That's what stands out about it.
we just like that it's
yeah,
new.
we like new.
So okay, let's take a deep breath.
Okay.
Let's assess
Should we
how
take
we're
some
doing.
questions?
Let's take
Yeah,
some
because
questions.
people were throwing out what they wanted out of the toy lines and stuff. We should probably go back and
yeah,
feature
let's.
some thoughts.
We'll take.
Well, how about instead of us scrolling back through
You
comments on
people
live,
comment now.
type in your question now.
yeah, anything you guys want us to tackle,
Yeah, that's good.
You guys got questions? Throw them in
can't
there.
scroll.
we'll,
It's too hard to
we'll
scroll.
spend some time doing that. We do appreciate you guys joining us, kind of last minute on a Saturday night, but we knew we wanted to recap this. And
Is it Saturday?
It's
I didn't know what
Saturday.
day it
Holy
was.
shit.
It's Saturday. What'd you guys think it was?
Ecto-Fest.
Well, I was hoping we were recording. I was hoping it was Thursday.
You were hoping tomorrow was Friday.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was Tuesday.
All right. So Vicky Horner says YHS party next June. Listen, if they are going to be doing Ecto-Fest again next year, we have already started talking about doing some sort of YHS gathering the night before.
YHS buffet.
Like the YHS Sweet Tomatoes Afterlife buffet.
Yeah. It might possibly be at an Olive Garden.
Hey, someone needs to make that T-shirt.
No, but seriously, I would love to do like a live podcast and another party like we did before the premiere. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna do it, we're gonna be there. Hopefully, we have more than a week to plan it. But yeah,
But we'll be there no matter what.
Right.
Randalorian, Jake, what did you and Jason talk about? Yeah, there's these pictures of floating.
I want to know too. I was
Yeah.
like, Jake is getting FaceTime.
I mean, we just had. I mean, we were just we were talking about the event. We talked about. I mean, I don't want to go into all of it. It was just, nice to be here. Like, glad this kind of thing is happening. He, talked about how this is going to be an ongoing thing. Some of the same stuff that he,
Right.
Did
he tell you that his
mentioned
brother was
live.
in college?
He said, "Hey man, it's very good to see you. I missed you very much. I really love you." And it was cool.
I really love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Both
what-
him and Gil were super duper friendly and nice.
They were great.
Yeah, it was great.
Jason Gresky, was there water available? Not really.
Yeah,
No,
well,
there
actually, yes, there was. There was water available. There
Concession.
was Coke, Pepsi, Sprite. There was popcorn. There was candy. There was lots of stuff available.
Yeah. Yeah, there was even a bathroom that you could get to that had a water fountain. It was fantastic.
Oh, I
You-
love that.
lots of
The
water.
Norman Lear building with the original. Listen, this is how much I love Ghostbusters. I'm sitting in there with the original set of like All in the Family, and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to go watch Afterlife.
Yeah. I literally looked at that couch. I was like about to sit on it. and I-
Jason Groski, how adorable was the little kid in the suit? Yeah, there was a kid dancing the whole time.
I took a video. That kid was in the middle of the aisle, and literally any time that proton packs came out, wands went up, he came out of his seat and like started interacting, and it was literally like just the sweetest thing I'd ever.
Yeah, it was
seen.
too much, honestly. Trying to watch a movie.
Jake was annoyed, and he was like, "Get the kid off the lot." And I was like, "This is a metaphor."
Zamfotis, next HasLab 112 scale Ectomobile. That would be amazing. I think we all want it. You know, I don't think they're going to announce another HasLab before they deliver the proton pack, but yep. Let's see here. Oh, a bunch of stuff's coming in. Given that Entertainment Earth is now distributing this is from Jim, real Ghostbusters figures non-exclusive to Walmart, do you think this week means we might see more of that line? I mean, I think they've showed that they worked on more than they've released. What was that video?
It was from PulseCon maybe a couple years ago or something like that. There was there was a behind the scenes video, and they showed at least 3 or 4 other Ghostbuster figures that have not come out. So I think there's some out there. They just haven't. Yeah. Maybe they're waiting until more media comes out. I don't know what the deal is, but I think there's going to be more.
Well, and as far as the Entertainment Earth stuff, if you guys didn't see it, the Walmart exclusive Real Ghostbusters figures, I think you can get from Entertainment Earth. I think this kind of happens. They probably have a lot of stock left over, and they're not going to bring them back to Walmart. So Entertainment Earth bought remaining stock, and yeah,
right.
Yeah, it would be nice if there were.
Flash. Will Ecto-Fest always be invite only? Maybe celebration style event to pay for? It's hard to say. Like, I don't know how big of the, especially if it's not on the weekend. I could see it being a little bit smaller scale, kind of like an invite only thing that happens on Ghostbusters Day. But if they want to expand it and they want to have,
move
guests
to a location that accommodates
more
like people.
I think it just depends. I think I would assume next year is going to be pretty similar to this year. I just hope they screen Ghostbusters 2.
God
That'd
damn,
That's what I want to watch.
Yeah, I've still never seen that in a movie theater or on any kind of big screen.
That's bullshit.
Screen Ghostbusters 2. Let us do a live commentary.
No, it's not bullshit. I've never seen Ghostbusters 2 in a theater.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying it's
okay.
bullshit.
Sorry, I
bullshit that you
misunderstood.
haven't.
Sorry, didn't read you right. Yeah, it is bullshit. And I'm mad. I'm
Matt
not seeing
Harrelson.
it.
Hi, Matt. We miss you too, man. Matt's a great guy
Yeah,
down there in Florida. Was there lines galore like FanFest? No, it was.
No, it was.
very
I
chill.
mean, like we've been saying, it was like 100 people. There was nothing to be. There was literally no reason to be in a line. It was just like a walk around, do your own thing, grab a seat, and watch the festivities. It was cool.
Literally perfect.
Dude asks, "Where's the Jaws the Revenge video?" I don't know if we've.
What Jaws the Revenge video?
I think we said at one point we were gonna do like a review of Jaws the Revenge or something. I don't know. But he says, would you like to see a ghost shark or ghost cow briefly during a montage scene in a Ghostbusters animated film? Sure.
Yeah,
I would
both
love
of
that.
them. I want them both.
Yes.
Give me a ghost tornado. Just take it all the way there. Well, I guess we kind of got a ghost tornado in Afterlife.
Yeah, but you want a possessed, fully formed tornado that's like
right.
Aloha.
prescient.
Any party crashers get in? I don't think so. It was pretty. Nope. It was
just
not
the people who were there.
They had a pretty robust check-in, and then you checked in again, and there was like a flash.
Yeah, there was a couple different. Yeah. They were making sure there was no party poopers.
But you could kind of do a little exploring after the event was over on the way out, which was nice.
Yeah,
of the Sony lot.
What new tech would you like to see in a Ghostbusters movie or cartoon? I don't know. Something cool.
I'm not a tech guy person. I don't really care about tech.
I can imagine that in a cartoon, whatever they have as an ectomobile is going to be insane just because it's a cartoon. They can do whatever they want. So,
yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's always cool to see modified.
I like
proton
classic
pack.
proton packs. I just want to see the classic proton pack, but there definitely will be tons of new stuff.
Yeah,
and I don't care
Hey,
what it is. I just want it.
Do you think in the comic book or cartoon or animated movie, do you think at some point they're gonna acknowledge the Ecto 1A and whether or not it?
I mean, in the comic book, maybe, but it won't. I don't think it will be. I don't think the cartoon. I don't think the animated cartoon or the animated movie are going to have anything to do with our classic characters at all. So
Still,
I
that
would
would
say
be
no.
Okay.
I just think
What?
it'd be awesome to have like a one-off following what happened to the Ecto 1A, like
Well,
like a one-night story of how things went wrong.
You said that the comic was between Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife, so you answered your own question.
Yeah, it should be explained.
I'm assuming they're going to acknowledge it at some point. It's just Egon tearing down the Ecto 1A and rebuilding the Ecto 1.
Yeah, the most
Like
boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking
like
all the extra
time
shit
lapse.
off the car, realizing like, hey, maybe this rack is too heavy for a vehicle.
Oh, this isn't
maybe
good.
we
Then
should take some of this.
Literally 30 minutes of just snacking.
By the way,
maybe we don't need the 150-pound scroll bar that just has our name on it.
Oh my god, I love that. Though.
It's like it's got a witch ad on
hot
it.
wings.
We should talk about the Afterlife Ecto real quick. Part of the roof rack was broken off and sitting in the passenger seat.
Yeah, either broken or just taken apart, but part of it was in the passenger seat. Yeah. Doors were locked, sadly.
Yeah, you could see the video on our YouTube page of Jake trying to get in.
And you telling him no.
I was like, Jake, no, don't do it.
And then I made my favorite joke, which is just a quote.
Abby called it a shit
I
box.
was so proud of myself.
But overall, guys, it was super fun. I mean, it was a fun, low key event, and I think my biggest thing is like, I just wasn't expecting a Ghostbusters event this year. Like, I thought it was going to be 2 years of radio silence, and then we'd start hearing rumblings of a new movie. But they're ready to put the pedal to the metal.
Man.
They're ready to go.
Yep. I think they're in a good place. I think Jason Reitman's in a good place. We've all been through tough stuff, and to be back on track moving forward is really good. It feels
and
really
they
good.
said that they've been working. They had the idea for the sequel. Like, I wonder how far along into the writing they actually are. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a first or second draft.
There's drafts done for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So and good on Sony to allow Ghostbusters Day to be this big thing on the lot. I mean, in the commissary during the day, you saw the pictures on Instagram, all the Ghostbusters themed.
They had banners,
food, which is
I want one of those banners.
Yeah, we considered taking one.
We didn't have.
Not.
I mean, I thought about how I wanted to, but there's no way to. First of all, I'm not stealing something off of the Sony lot, but also they're up on. I was just like, someone should give me one of those.
And we got to give a shout out to Jen Fujikawa, who we got to meet at Star Wars Celebration.
Love Jen.
And her official Ghostbusters cookbook is coming out in September. They released the cover for it, and all of her recipes that were in the book were used in the Sony commissary for Ghostbusters Day. Yep. How cool is that?
So cool.
It's just cool, man. It's just Ghostbusters getting a lot of love. It was cool that like you got Variety and Hollywood Reporter and Deadline all reporting on all this Ghostbusters stuff. And we're the little franchise that could, and it kind of finally feels like, I mean, you get an animated series on Netflix, or even if the animated movie went straight to Netflix, holy shit. You're talking about 100 million people that can watch it immediately.
Right.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
Eyeballs. New generation.
And I think it's important. I really do. So we'll roundtable final thoughts here. Abigail, what do you think?
I literally feel like so connected to the Ghostbusters community, to the future of things, to y'all, our podcast, and our listeners. And I'm so happy to be in this place in this time in 2020. And it's 2021. I was like, what year is it?
2022.
It's 2022. Abby doesn't do dates either. I don't do dates or quotes. But yeah.
That was funny.
I knew it would.
That was awesome.
I wasn't planning it. But yeah, I'm glad to be where we are is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that, with Afterlife doing well in theaters and just really killing it in home video. I mean, top 3 or 4 DVD and Blu-ray sales every week since coming out. People are seeing the movie, and I think that's the most important thing, right? People are, and the movie theaters are back in a huge way,
Yeah,
right? Like
with the release, there was huge obstacles to get over to get people in. People were afraid to go back to the movie theater. It was tough.
yeah, it's crazy. Jake, I'll give you the final thought here.
Yeah, I mean, there's Abby said it. Like, we're in a good place, and it's nice to see all of this stuff. It's overwhelming as a fan who's like held on rumors, for years and years at a time, to go to be on the Sony lot, have Jason be there, and just be like, okay, we got cartoon, comic book, toys,
multiple
VR,
video games.
Like,
yes.
It's a lot of stuff. It's more than we've ever had taking place at one time. And I'm just glad that we're in a position to cover it and to see it all unfold, and to be able to be at these events, watching them take place. And I'm very thankful for the heads up, that we get to be at these things. And it's just a good time, man. It's like, I'd rather, there's nothing else that I'd rather be doing than sitting literally in between 2 screen used Ecto-1s. That's all I ever want to do in the rest of my life.
I found myself being
Great
able.
sandwich.
I found myself having trouble paying attention to the movie because
I just kept. You can't. I don't care what's playing. Like, we were sitting very like, it's just like you're watching the movie, looking up, you're like, yeah, cool, and it's like you just look over. It's just the Ecto-1's just right 10 feet away from you.
Yeah, and I think that I think there'll be more events like this, and obviously if there is an opportunity for us to, because here's something that I feel very strongly about. A lot of times these events are Ghost Corps has got a really good relationship with a lot of the Ghostbusters franchises. And that's amazing, and they deserve it because those franchises work really hard and they do the charity events and all that stuff. But a lot of our YHS listeners are hardcore Ghostbusters fans, but they might not be part of a franchise or part of a group that does the cosplay and all that stuff. So if we have the opportunity, kind of like we did for the premiere, right, where we helped people get on the list to attend the premiere that maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity otherwise because they're not on the mailing list for a franchise or something like that. So
the stragglers, not in a derogatory way, but the independents,
the losers.
I'm calling them the independents. That's a better word.
The stragglers.
But the
the
misfits.
ones falling behind.
That's who we are.
God damn it! Build
They
a
need their own
proton
patch.
patch. We do. We need a YHS stragglers patch. That's really fun. No, but if we can, funnel information people's way and get people involved in these types of events that maybe wouldn't have been involved otherwise, we'll do the best we can because we're all stragglers. Even Turbo Button says stragglers
are cool.
That's going to be a new shirt.
Also, I'm glad we've embraced the term.
The struggle stragglers. That's what we are. Yeah, that's it. That was Ecto-Fest. It was an impromptu event. We barely have recovered from, we haven't even talked about Star Wars Celebration yet. Like we had this whole other thing.
I'm happy talking about this.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's good.
Yeah.
And also the YHS Band-Aids. That's really funny.
Stragglers.
And we've got fun stuff coming up. We've got Toy Anxiety coming up this week. We got a special guest we're excited about.
Yes, and we have tons of stuff to show off.
And a lot going on. So that's it. That's our coverage of Ecto-Fest. Go watch our sizzle reel. It's on YouTube. We thank everybody for the support.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun Ghostbusters stuff coming up. And also, we all saw Jurassic World Dominion the other night. We're going to have to talk about that at some point.
Well, I'm assuming that'll be Thursday's episode. We'll talk
That'll be
about
this
We're not
week's
even going to
episode.
tell you if we liked it.
No, but we're going to tell you what. There's dinosaurs in it. And that's always a good time.
There are.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
There
everybody.
are.
For Jacob Walsh, Abigail Gardner,
Mhm.
myself, and of course our wonderful friends that we got to spend time with, like AJ Quick of gbfans.com, John Yerkeba of The Art of John Yerkeba. You can check out his brand new released Transformers comic art, comic book covers, as well as Ninja Turtles, and he's got some fun stuff coming up. And of course, Troy Benjamin, our dear friend, from GBHQ and the Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Rip. All the people we spent time with and hung out with. We thank you, we love you, and we'll see you again, probably.
Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
We love you. We see you. Put them in the shoe line.
Put them in the shoe line. All right, stragglers. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Have a good weekend. Stay up late. Eat a pizza. That's what I would do.
Buy a toy.
Remove the chair.
Remove
Bye.
the chair. Good one.
Bye.
Night, y'all.